It started in 4th grade. My mom, as a form of encouragement, placed the quote, "We find in life exactly what we put into it," by Emerson in my childhood room. It isn't overly profound, but it triggered an understanding in me and carried with me while navigating high school as an introvert who found expressing myself verbally difficult. I was a spunky kid and full of energy, but as the youngest of 3 girls, I found it easy to fade into the background. I'd get lost hiking the woods around my house in western New York State, or let my imagination roam while putting together a puzzle. These things allowed my mind to wander, all while continuing to be quiet. I kept a sketchbook and journal almost my entire childhood. Even though I only took 1 high school art class in 9th grade, I knew in some capacity I needed to draw, sketch, and doodle. It was a form in which I felt at home within myself. The summer of my 11th grade year in high school, I went to an art camp in Florida. My parents wanted me to find out if being immersed in the art world for a week would inspire or diminish my desire to attend art school. At the end of the week, while chatting with a professor, he steered me toward graphic design. It was exactly what I needed. So, off to college I went. I spent my first year at SUNY Fredonia in New York, and during class one day we watched the movie Pollock. In watching that film, it clicked. I understood that my future in graphic design would appease my personal angst. The angst of not being able to express myself in words was now minimized by my pursuit and use of graphic design. I transferred to Bradley Academy in New York, PA, as my parents and sister had moved to the area and I missed them. Once at Bradley, I couldn't get enough of learning. It was a time in my life which I was pushing myself in a pursuit that I wanted more of daily. I loved it. Thumbnail after thumbnail, project after project, I simply wanted more. In facing graduation, I began applying for jobs, and here's my first rejection letter. I felt the pain of every word on that letter. I came out of the interview feeling frustrated. I couldn't find words for the questions they asked, even though I had diligently practiced. The letter has been a constant reminder to keep trying, even if it means rejection. A few months later, I did end up getting a job. For the fear of my looming student loans and my desire to get an apartment of my own, I accepted a job at York Newspaper Company. I was now doing my best to be cheerful about designing ads in tiny boxes and being the only designer for a team of 15 salespeople. The job changed quickly, and so did my outlook on what felt like my going nowhere career. The job ended up changing so much I was now formatting obituaries. You can see how I felt about it. But for all the horrors, the experience with the newspaper taught me 2 things. 1, better interpersonal skills, and 2, quitting a job doesn't mean you're a quitter. After the paper, I went to work for Church of the Open Door as their communications director. During my time there, I also learned something valuable. It was that I was really bad at designing for one organization day in and day out. I couldn't stay jazzed about it. It lacked variation, and so I began working double time in an effort to work for myself. I took the leap into self-employment in October of 2014, and shortly after was given the opportunity to travel to Utah for a job. It was over the course of this week I began to feel grounded again. I felt challenged, and with it the reminder that I would find in self-employment exactly what I put into it. Upon coming home, I was fortunate enough to land 2 more gigs that helped me come out of my creative rut. The projects were a rebrand for photographer Trinity Walker Kiefer of Trinity Photography, and a one-time publication that highlighted South Central PA tattoo shops called Inkwell Magazine. While my work pursuits were a positive, my personal life took a different path. It was a time of struggle and uncertainty that landed me in a headspace of needing a meditative practice. I started dabbling in brush lettering. I quickly found this meditation healing. It was helping me with words I couldn't speak, but instead could write. What started as a form of healing quickly turned into me writing on all the things. From t-shirts to wedding invitations and signs to a journal collaboration with Story Supply, I can't stop lettering. Moving from the printed to the painted, I've also had the opportunity to work on a large scale with my hand lettering. These 2 pieces helped my constant craving for variation, but more importantly, these pieces are markers in York. Senior portraits, engagement photos, and wedding parties have all used the York mural as a backdrop for their life event. While I am not physically a part of those photos, my artistic voice is in each one of them. And once knowledge of my lettering spread, there were inquiries for me to teach. It started small, but rapidly grew. From Rochester to New York to Miami, Florida, I've had the privilege of teaching over 800 people hand lettering at various workshops. It's been an experience that has really stretched my limits as an introvert. While my hand lettering has grown, so has my graphic design business. Each of these logos is a brand I developed. I may not be the best verbal speaker, but I'm able to successfully speak through design. My small business wouldn't be where I am today without the trust and confidence of each of my clients, and for them, I'm grateful. So now what? With all my clients in mind, coworkers and peers, I'm determined to, in some way, give a voice to others. My goal is to open The Grotto with my brother-in-law, Benjamin. It's our mission to provide space for the thinker, creative, and/or entrepreneur, but more on that in the future. Most importantly, I wouldn't have ever been able to forge this path alone. It has only been because of Tiffany's unwavering support to dig deeper and always try that I'm here. It's because of Kermit and Trinity's relationship I gave the concept of love another chance. It's only because of my parents and their unconditional love and laughter that I'm here. And it's only because of Gregory that I have found unspeakable joy and the confidence to push myself creatively. It's a simple saying, yet the concept has pushed me, and after realizing my limitations only limit me to the point of which I allowed them to, my world began to change. So to those who may have social fears or are severe introverts, know that the rewards in life are most often far greater than how awkward navigating it can feel. You find in life exactly what you put into it.